Good afternoon and good morning to those of you on the West Coast and in the Mountain Time Zone. Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's webinar focusing on entrepreneurship programs for survivors. We are joined by the wonderful team over at Project Phoenix in Syracuse, New York. I'm especially grateful for them joining us today because they are still digging out from the big snowstorm that they had this week and are still facing some power outages. So I appreciate the team for joining us today. So I'm Sarah Gonzalez Bocinski. I'm the Director of the Economic Security for Survivors Project at the Institute for Women's Policy Research. I'm going to be today's moderator. Before we get started into the content of the presentation, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. If you have questions, you can direct them to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. You'll see there's a little chat icon. You can send messages directly to me. I'll be the chairperson, and I can save questions for to the presenters for the end of the webinar. All lines except for the presenters have been muted so we can limit background noise. If you do find that you have technical issues, again, you can reach out to me as the chairperson via the chat or contact ReadyTalk support at 1-800-843-9166. This webinar is put on by the Institute for Women's Policy Research. IWPR works with policymakers, scholars, and the public interest groups to design, execute, and disseminate research to illuminate economic and social policy issues facing women and families. We focus on a number of different research areas, including employment, education, and economic change, democracy and society, poverty, welfare, and income security, work and family, and health and safety. The Economic Security for Survivors project is actually housed under our health and safety portfolio. Economic Security for Survivors project is an OVW-funded national technical assistance project focusing on elevating and institutionalizing best practices that help to build, protect, and restore survivor economic security so that survivors of intimate partner violence, sexual assault, and stalking may be free from abuse and violence in the future. We do a range of technical assistance activities that includes educating criminal justice professionals about the intersections of economic security and safety and promoting best practices that reduce barriers to victim safety and economic justice. We work to help align legal processes and identify resources that reduce the cost of participating in the justice system. We promote the use of economic relief to ensure survivors' independence and recovery. We develop a number of tools and curricula that help to educate victim advocates on the ways that they can address economic insecurity and help empower survivors. That is part of what we're doing here today. We have received a number of training and technical assistance requests around the issues of building economic independence and economic opportunity for survivors. We hear from a number of grantees across the country that there's still a lot of challenges to getting good paying jobs, and there's a lot of communities that are still economically depressed, and having opportunities for survivors so they are able to support themselves with an income is becoming more and more difficult. Because of this, some have expressed interest in creating their own opportunities. How can we support survivors who want to be their own business owners, and how do we do that safely? Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of programs out there doing this work, so there's not a lot of research and data available. But we were able to connect with this great program in Syracuse, New York, and that's why we've invited Project Phoenix here today to talk about the work that they've been doing, the impact that it's had, and the lessons learned so we can better understand what the needs are for our survivors who are seeking job training and business entrepreneurship opportunities. So I'd like to take a moment to introduce some of our colleagues here today from Project Phoenix. We are joined by Roseanne Olszewski, who is the project manager at Project Phoenix, Jolie Moran, who's at Vera House, Joanne Lenweaver, who is the director of Wise Business Women's Center. We are hoping that Javad will be able to join us. We learned that there is a power outage at Syracuse University in much of downtown Syracuse, so we're hoping he can join us shortly. And we're also very pleased to have Eileen Collins with us, who is the founder of Admin on Call, a Project Phoenix alumna. They will all tell you about how the project works, what their experiences have been, and consider that as some of the practices for communities who are seeking to engage in similar endeavors. So without further ado, Roseanne, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. I'd like to also express my gratitude to Sarah and the Institute of Women's Policy Research and the Economic Justice Project for showcasing Project Phoenix, a project that we're very proud of as a team here in Syracuse, New York. My name is Roseann Olszewski, and I am the project coordinator of Project Phoenix. I have been with the project since its inception in January of 2012. Project Phoenix is a multi-agency grant for survivors of domestic violence who are looking to achieve financial independence through entrepreneurship and small business ownership. My background is I have a master's in transformative leadership development, and I have my own private practice, consulting and counseling, called Metamorphosis, Become Who You Are Meant to Be. And very grateful to have been a part of this project for all of this time. Just wanted to go over a little bit more with some of our partners here, the collaborators on the Project Phoenix. As Sarah has said, Vera House is the local agency, comprehensive domestic violence agency in Syracuse, and it's the first portal between a client and Project Phoenix. And then, of course, the Wise Women's Business Center provides networking, women-centric programming, and scholarships to women to the clients of Project Phoenix. And the Southside Innovation Center also provides counseling, training, scholarships, and business education to Project Phoenix. We were all brought together, thankfully, by a grant from Verizon Wireless Helpline Grant. That was our original funding in January of 2012. We came together to create the model based on the grant. And we, first and foremost, decided that we wanted to make this project the best it can be. And so we decided to set the foundation quite early by scheduling bi-weekly team meetings with all the collaborators. And through those team meetings, we decided an important component was that we were going to provide DV sensitivity training to all of the staff and instructors, presenters that would be working with our clients through the project. We wanted them to understand the nuances of working with survivors of domestic violence, and we also wanted to assure our clients that they would be understood and they would be in a safe space at all times. We then began to recruit clients for the project through the Outreach and Advocacy Program at Vera House. And later on in the webinar, we have Jillian Moran who will be explaining how that process works. And we also developed project entry protocols to ensure consistency. And one of the main protocols was that a client in Project Phoenix really needed to be out of immediate crisis in order to engage and be successful in the project. We knew that they had to have some form of concentration. They weren't going to be distracted by any safety concerns or crisis. The next slide is going to show you, it's a Project Phoenix program flow, so it kind of shows you how we developed the program, how we wanted it to work. We start with the outreach and intake program, awareness, and then the entry-level client experience, the entrepreneurial orientation counseling, entry-level business programming, and DV support counseling was a huge component. So as the DV counselor, I was with the client through every step of the way. And as the next slide is going to show you, it will give you an idea of what the services were that I was providing. I would meet with the client initially at a safe space. Most of the time it was at the Vera House offices, since that was what the client was familiar with. We would discuss the DV. We would discuss where they were in the process of the DV. Again, we were screening for immediate crisis, or whether or not they were beyond immediate crisis. And we had materials that we developed, applications that we developed, provided safety planning, continually providing safety planning and screening with the clients throughout the project. And I did this by meeting with them at least once a month throughout, checking in with them to see how are things going with the classes. Are they having any kind of triggers? Are they feeling at all overwhelmed? Working with DV population, it's important to recognize and honor the fact that this can be, for many of them, a whole new experience, this experience of self-care and self-development. After years of abuse, it's often found that survivors of domestic violence have lost their skills or their belief in their skills, and so continually working with them to nip any problems in the bud. You know, if they were having any kind of second thoughts, or if they were feeling overwhelmed and not understanding the material, or not thinking that they were able to continue to go forward, my one-on-one meetings with them were addressing that and helping them provide skills to get through that fear. So again, continuing the advocacy with client within the project. So if any of the clients were having any kind of feelings of unsafety, and that's not just physical but emotional safety as well, they were able most times to address that with me, but were feeling shy about addressing that directly with maybe an instructor or a staff person. So I would work with them to provide that information back to whoever the other person was involved, and we would have conversation around that, and it really worked out really nicely. Many times clients are not able to advocate for themselves early on in the process. Part of the program is to reach out and to help them develop those skills of speaking out and communication skills of speaking out for themselves. So that was a lot of what I was doing with them on a one-on-one basis. The other important component was that I would accompany them. I would be in the classroom with the cohort while they were learning new skills. I went to networking events with them. I attended conferences with them. I never left them to be out on their own until they were ready. We went as a team. We went together, and I would then introduce them to people that I knew in the community who were attending events, so that they could feel they knew somebody in the room. Again, it was always about their comfortability and feeling safe in whatever environment they were in. Another really important component of Project Phoenix was monthly brunches that we would have. We would have them again at the Vera House administrative offices. We'd have them on Saturdays when the agency was closed. We'd order some delicious brunch food, and the cohort would come in, start to get to know each other. We would discuss again the project as a group. There usually would be a topic of interest to them, and we would just have a kind of back and forth, get to know each other experience. It was beautiful and brilliant to watch how the cohort would support each other when somebody had car trouble on the way to the brunch, couldn't make it, or was having a difficult time believing that this truly was possible for them, and how they would reach out and support each other. It was an absolutely group effort, and the brunches were a very important component. Mentoring is something that I felt that I was also doing as clients were getting toward the end of their time in Project Phoenix. I'd like to talk a little bit more about mentoring later on when we talk about lessons learned. And also, I acted as the main source of project announcements to clients. So they weren't getting information from everyone. They were getting it from me. I was the connector. As a team, we would meet every other week, and I would be informed as to what events were coming up, and I would then be the one that would send out the email to all folks, and they would in turn respond to me instead of having to respond to multiple sources. So we found that that was a very integral part of the success, especially early on, of Project Phoenix going forward. So that is pretty much my piece for now anyway, and I'd like to introduce to you Joey Moran, who is the coordinator of the Outreach and Advocacy Program at Vera House.
Thank you so much, Roseanne, and thank you everybody for listening in today. Before I introduce myself a little bit more, I do want to give a little bit more information in regards to Vera House. As Roseanne has already stated, Vera House is a comprehensive domestic and sexual violence agency in Syracuse, New York. We specialize in providing counseling services, advocacy services, and emergency shelter services to people who have experienced domestic and sexual violence. Additionally, we provide a lot of education and prevention work in our community in regards to these issues as well. The mission of Vera House is to prevent, respond to, and partner in regards to domestic and sexual violence and other forms of abuse. Our vision is a world free of violence and abuse. Additionally, our core values is we advocate for the right of all persons to live without abuse, oppression, violence, or fear in their relationships. We honor individuals' choice and empower them to use their strengths. We foster trusting relationships and respectful communication through collaboration. We embrace diversity and deliver culturally responsive, trauma-informed services with compassion. And additionally, we educate and challenge ourselves in the community we serve to promote a culture of respect and violence. To give you a little bit of background information in regards to me and how I have been connected to this project, as Roseanne has stated, I am the Outreach and Advocacy Program Coordinator at Vera House. I have been in this role since about August of last year, although previously was in a lot of other different roles at Vera House and specifically served within the advocacy program for 6 of those years and was actually in the program during the time of the Project Phoenix grant and when this project first started. So although I wasn't directly the advocate serving these individuals as Roseanne was, I do have some background in this project as well as some familiarity with the program. I hold a master's degree in social work from Syracuse University with a concentration in organization, policy planning, and administration. As of right now, my primary responsibility is I do supervise a team of about 9 victim advocates who work with individuals impacted by domestic sexual violence and elder abuse. To give you a little bit of more information in regards to Vera House and how Vera House has been an integral piece in the success of Project Phoenix. As Roseanne stated, we are the primary source and referral source for the Project Phoenix participants, and generally speaking, are the initial contact with the client. The majority of our clients do come in through our 24-hour crisis and support line. Although advocates are out in the community, and we currently have individuals outstationed at the Onondaga County District Attorney's Office, County Child Protective Services, the local domestic violence courts, as well as our local family court. Referrals to the advocacy program are also made through local law enforcement, hospitals, and other medical professionals, as well as other local service providers. What has been really great about this project is that Roseanne stated that she has provided support and education to the participants of this program on a monthly basis and follows them through more of that business entrepreneurship experience. We have created our advocates a really nice partnership with Roseanne to provide any ongoing domestic and sexual violence needs, including safety planning and support services, and really work through and partner with Roseanne through that process, which is nice because it provides some extra support services during the times that maybe Roseanne is unavailable to meet with them. Additionally, we do provide a confidential space for client to meet with Roseanne as our administrative offices act in that capacity. We also are the host and the location for the Project Phoenix monthly brunches and support Roseanne in being able to do that at this location. Additionally, we assist Roseanne in the project in providing additional revenue for the project. One of the things that comes into play sometimes is child care issues for the participants and access perhaps to professional clothing. So we work with the project to hopefully be able to provide some of that child care reimbursement as well as access to the Dress for Success initiative. Right now I'm going to take the time to introduce you to Joanne Lenweaver, who is, I think, going to be speaking in regards to the Southside Innovation Center, as it looks like, to my knowledge, that Aljava has not been able to join us because of the power outage. So, Joanne, thank you so much.
Hi, Jolie. Thank you very much for that introduction, and I will pinch hit for Aljava regarding the Southside Innovation Center, and that's an easy thing for me to do because we have been really parallel programs for so long. The Wise Women's Business Center actually started in the Southside Innovation Center, which is a community-based micro-enterprise incubator, and we're both operated by the Whitman School of Management at Syracuse University. So the Whitman School, just as background, is an entrepreneurial program within the Whitman School, and it is currently ranked in the top 10 schools worldwide by the Financial Times. So it's really a very exciting place to be. We have some very incredible faculty, and the Southside Innovation Center at this time is one of the premier examples of small business resource center hosting. It hosts training programs. It provides advice on individual business plans and offers access to mentors and professional contacts. Also, as a center, it is an incubator. So small businesses may be able to start at that center, and as they grow and expand into the community, they are given the resources and the support as they get out into the community and take on larger space. Javad Qaadeer has been the director of the Southside Innovation Center for, I'm going to say, 4 years now. And he's a terrific member of our team on Project Phoenix. He is the business incubator is in the center of the city of Syracuse, and it houses 30 resident clients in its 15,000 square foot facility. And with Aljava's guidance, it provides consulting services to another 350 unique small business owners, none the least of which are Project Phoenix women. It's also funded by a fund by New York State's Entrepreneurial Assistance Program, EAP, and there's a student component where we all work with a group of students up at the Whitman School to assist us in coaching some of our women as well as helping them with business planning. In 2012, Aljava was a recipient of the Minority Small Business Champion of the Year Award from the U.S. Small Business Administration, and he's given his commitment to and impact on entrepreneurship in his work at the SSIC. And none of us would be able to do what we do without Aljava and his connections to the city and the people that have grown as a result of being in the incubator. For Project Phoenix in particular, the SSIC has provided an integral piece in our puzzle in the success of Project Phoenix by providing one-on-one business counseling and creating a viable business plan. As we all know, without a business plan, a small business is at a great disadvantage. So one of the things that is really crucial is making sure that our women who are in Project Phoenix come into a safe space and are more or less mentored immediately by a business counselor that will help them to put together a business plan that is strategically written to help them succeed. Entrepreneurial training in marketing, sales, social media, pricing, and all kinds of things comes through great training programs at SSIC. These things are not necessarily taught by experts at the incubator. Rather, they bring in all kinds of people that are in our community that are experts, and the programming through Project Phoenix pays for some of these people by the hour to instruct our people. Information on business entity creation is incredibly important, so drawing in on the expertise, let's say, of attorneys and people who understand how crucial it is to make sure that this is a beginning to your business and how you're going to grow it. Scholarships to the New York State Entrepreneurial Assistance Program has been a wonderful thing, because what they have done is it's a 10-week program that is very, very well thought out, great big thick binder of resource materials that is accessed throughout the 10-week period, where every single one of the people who are in EAP, and they do not necessarily need to be in Project Phoenix, they are from all over our community. They meet periodically in the classroom and put together the necessary pieces for putting together a business plan, which in the end ends up in a terrific pitch competition with actual products that are provided by sponsors in our community. There's also a scholarship to the Syracuse University School of Management Entrepreneur Boot Camp, another tremendous value, valued at more than $700 every year. And these people that run this are not only experts in our community, but also all of the professors at the Whitman School and their individual areas of expertise that are shared in the classroom every Saturday for 6 weeks, from 8 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then monthly networking events. SSIC is famous for a wonderful ability to just draw people in from the community over, a wonderful lunch and have a inspiring speaker every month, and that's been a real benefit to all of our people in Project Phoenix and community people that all kind of gather together on those special days. So I will transition now into the Wise Women's Business Center, of which I am the director and have been since 2009. And how our business fits into this program is we are so proud to be a women's business center. We are funded in part by the U.S. Small Business Administration, and we are one of 105 other women's business centers nationwide. We are not all called WISE, but we do have different names and different collaborations. Our collaboration is with the Whitman School of Management at Syracuse University as well. So you can see how SSIC and WISE fit together as community partners within the Whitman School. Our main goal in life is to create a thriving community of women that are interested in entrepreneurship or what we call intrapreneurship, meaning should they be working at a corporation or something like that, we give them the tools to feel empowered to be a great intrapreneur as well. In the case of Project Phoenix, we have put together many wonderful interpersonal situations where business counseling was really one of the most important portions of getting to know some of these women. It's been our honor in many ways to have them in a class. We did have a class called Women of Faith in Business, and all of it is very women-centric because we do believe that women start and grow businesses differently than men. So the networking and the mentoring opportunities were really quite enriched in our atmosphere because they felt very comfortable as they came into, no matter what it may be, the classroom activity or a roundtable discussion or whatever it may be. Like I said, our mission to provide information, resources, and support for women entrepreneurs is ongoing, and it enables each of us to successfully advance their businesses to the next level of profitability and success. So we may have someone who is just kind of thinking about entrepreneurship, or we may have some that have been an entrepreneur for quite a while, and they really just need to kind of tighten up some of their contacts throughout the community, or in that case, we give them a scholarship sometimes to some of our wonderful women-centric events here in Central New York that called the Wise Symposium, which has attracted sometimes every year 1,000 women. We've had people like Barbara Corcoran of Shark Tank and a couple of other people that have been speakers. Project Phoenix was honored by the U.S. State Department this past year. I was asked to attend 2 major conferences, one in Lima, Peru, and the other one in Taipei, Taiwan, to address the group regarding Project Phoenix. They were so very interested in what has happened with this program that I am very appreciative for all of you being on the call and your interest as well. As WISE has gone on, we've served more than 8,000 clients in the past 10 years. We just celebrated our 10th anniversary, and we have provided more than 10,000 hours of business training. I personally owned my own business for 19 years, and in fact know the value of support for women because it can be a very lonely and isolating situation to own your own business in many ways. So I think what we do is stand behind our women and say these are things that in many ways we understand and want to make sure that they feel that they are more or less enveloped in a feeling of real support and empowerment. So in conclusion, regarding the Women's Business Center, we offer community networking events, very women-centric oriented, scholarships to women's conferences, specialized business-centered classes and forums, weekly business roundtables, a mentoring program, and then mastermind groups that allow small little nucleuses of women to meet autonomously and to support one another and be accountable to each other as they grow their businesses. So thank you very much. So I will introduce Eileen Collins, who I am so proud of because Eileen has come through all of our mixes and models of our Project Phoenix programs. She is a very articulate woman regarding her past and very positive about her future. And I think you'll see when she begins to tell you about her story. Eileen?
Hi, this is Eileen, and I am a I guess you would say, the end product of all of those who have presented before me. I am honored to be here and would like to share with you my journey with Project Phoenix and how I came to discover who they are. And my journey started, back in my childhood. I grew up in a household filled with abuse, physically, emotional, mental abuse, and it ended up becoming my own reality. But I was determined and always had that will and that spirit, and I give tribute to God for that. And I decided I was not going to be like my mom. I wasn't going to be like my mom. I wasn't going to suffer the way that she did. And in actuality, I ended up being exactly like my mom. So with that being said, I started my journey to participate in Project Phoenix, and when I relocated to Syracuse in 2012. Didn't know anybody in this area, and, was looking for a way to get out and to know people. And I went to the calendar of events for the local area, and I found WISE. WISE is Women Igniting the Spirit of Entrepreneurship, and they was having a holiday hello at this hotel. And I didn't know anybody here, and I called Joanne, and she told me to come on in, and I came. It took me a while to come in, but once I did, it was the best decision that I made to turn my life in the direction on my journey to encounter Project Phoenix. So from there, WISE offered a lot of networking events and opportunities to meet people and to discover things that you didn't know as far as having a business, being a business owner, or even just having an idea and bring it into fruition to become a viable business. And in that, I attended, like Joanne alluded to, the Women of Faith Conference network shop. I went to that, and there I met a young lady who introduced me to Project Phoenix. Now, when she told me about the program, I thought to myself, no, that's not for me. I'm not a victim, because I fought back. I didn't allow myself just to be beat up. I actually fought back. But in reality, I was a victim. I just didn't realize it yet. So I called, and I met with Roseanne. And Roseanne is my mentor. She's my counselor, and she's my friend, and I love her. So she changed my life. And in that, with meeting with Roseanne, I learned that I was, in fact, still a victim. The effects were for life. My behavior, my thoughts, my actions, my decisions, they were all shaped and governed by the abuse I went through as a child and as an adult. And the emotions that I thought were healed because I, just thought I was okay, they were just laying dormant. And I never had counseling or help to deal with them. So when I met with Roseanne, I'm getting emotional. When I met with Roseanne, she was instrumental in paving the way to helping me heal, both emotionally and mentally. She encouraged me, she counseled me, and she introduced me to entrepreneurship, the program that they had through Vera House, in conjunction with Vera House, and it enabled me to pursue entrepreneurship. There I got into the program. I was able to attend different networking events and workshops and different programs that was offered through the SSIC and through WISE. And Project Phoenix always sponsored us, so we was able. So money wouldn't be a factor as to why we could not be in attendance at any of these programs that was going to help us grow and help us move to another level. And it took these events, and I always went with an open mind because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I always walked around with, really low self-esteem and confidence as I would be able to do this, because I didn't have the knowledge. And knowledge is power. Knowledge boosts your confidence. And that experience I gained through Project Phoenix, the SSIC, and the Wise Women's Business Center. They also had a business plan competition that was offered to the Project Phoenixers. That's what we call ourselves, Project Phoenixers. And we was able to compete by creating our business plan, presenting it to Verizon for a grant, and we were awarded a $5,000 grant to help develop our business. The benefits of being a part of a program like this is just, it's overwhelming. It's beyond your wildest dreams that you can accomplish all these things, but with the love and the encouragement and the mentoring and the counseling and the support that we receive through Project Phoenix and the SSIC and WISE. And it's kind of hard for me to separate those different programs from each other because they're all intertwined and they help and they support and they encourage each other from different avenues. So just being a part of Project Phoenix opened up this whole world to me as a participant to be able to take these other classes and become a successful business that I have. I was able to get my Minority Women Business Enterprise credentials. I'm certified in the city of Syracuse. I achieved several awards through being associated with WISE and the SSIC and being a Project Phoenixer. In 2012, I was attendance, as I said before, in the Women of Faith and Business. 2013, I received the Risin Wireless Domestic Violence Entrepreneurship Program grant. In 2015, I was featured in the WISE Faces of Success and received an award through iHeartRadio in Y94, 2014. These are all the accomplishments that I got that I never knew existed for me, and I would have not known had it not been for Project Phoenix. In 2016, the Small Business Development Center featured me in their magazine. WISE featured me in 2016 in the Little Black Dress event. It was awesome. And then in 2017, this year, I was just interviewed on the Q93 Street Talk radio. And these are just a few of the things that happens that the program allows to help you to develop not only confidence in your business, confidence in your idea and that you can grow it to a business, confidence that you can move forward and help your past to propel you into your future, to use those things that were meant for bad, but knowing that God is going to turn it out for it to be your good. I look back over my life and I praise God that Project Phoenix was there waiting on me. Now, had I stayed where I was, I would have never known about Project Phoenix, but I thank God that I do. It's an awesome, awesome program, and it's just awesome. It does wonders for your self-esteem because you're there with a group of women who have been where you've been, or those who are coming into where you've been, so you can support them, and then you have those that have been where you've been, and they can support you. So it's just a wealth of information and resources and encouragement just to build and boost you up. I just love I'm sorry, I'm so emotional, but I just love this program, these programs that they have for entrepreneurship and to help those who have been involved in domestic violence or other, acts of violence against them. Project Phoenix is an awesome program, and without them, I would not be where I am today. And my business it's called Admin on Call, Executive Assistant on the Run, and I provide services to entrepreneurs and small-based businesses and home-based businesses as well on an as-needed basis. And I am their executive administration, like a CEO of a big corporation would have an assistant. I provide that type of service to entrepreneurs. So that is me, and that's my story. I thank you for allowing me to share. I am honored, and I do appreciate this time to be a part of this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. This is Roseanne joining back in. Thank you so much, Eileen. The project is so very proud of you and all of your accomplishments. Well earned, well done.
Thank you.
So now I'm just going to talk about some of the impact of Project Phoenix. As a result, since 2012 through December of 2016, 60 women have participated in the program. We had outreach to many more women who had the project was offered to, but were not ready for whatever reason. And one of the important components is to know that while someone may not be ready at the time that we are meeting with them, when they are ready, we're still here for them. We're ready for them to pick up right where they left off, and that's a beautiful thing as well. So we had 87% success rate of our Project Phoenix clients who completed business plans and submitted them for startup funding. So we're very, very, very proud of that. And then on the national level, as of 2013, there's an estimated over 8.6 million women-owned businesses in the U.S. This is impactful and also not well known, I don't believe. But these businesses, women-owned businesses, are generating over $1.3 trillion in revenues. So women-owned business is a force in our economy. The next slide that I'm going to show you is some testimonials from some of our other participants in Project Phoenix. And, I won't read them. I will give you a moment to kind of go over them. I'll tell you a little bit about Stephanie. Stephanie competed in a business plan competition last spring at Southside Innovation Center and was a recipient of an award. She has an absolutely wonderful business plan to work with women who have hair loss, and she works with them to promote their self-esteem and to teach them how to put their best foot forward. Olivia is another wonderful young woman who had a very hard life, had spent some time incarcerated, came out and got herself into school and was determined to turn her life around and create a business helping other folks who are incarcerated re-enter society in a positive, healthy way by providing them with support and information on services. And she's now studying for her master's degree and is writing a book and will be moving forward to a PhD in the future. Julie is someone who did not complete a business plan, but her success in the project was in her ability to believe in herself again. She definitely started the project with a lot of emotional trauma and ended the project with a whole different outlook on her possibilities in life, and is really thriving and doing quite wonderfully in life. And Grace is a social work counselor, and she also, through her one-on-one business counseling, was able to leave the agency where she was working full-time and open her own private counseling practice. So we're really very proud of Grace as well. That's just a few of the testimonials that we have. This is our information going forward. If you want to contact us in any way to speak about Project Phoenix, we love to talk about our project, so please reach out and do so. So I think I'm going to be turning it back to Sarah now.
Yeah, thanks, Roseanne.
You're welcome.
We've received a large number of questions, and I'm hoping we can get through them all today, this afternoon. So for those of you who have not submitted any questions, please feel free to use the chat function in the bottom left-hand corner. There's a lot of great information that our presenters here have shared today about Project Phoenix, so I'm hoping we can address as many of them as possible in the remaining time we have. So I'm just going to go through in any order, and those of you feel free to just chime in, whoever wants to answer the questions first. So, I'm just trying to peek here. Regarding those who are mentors to the program, some of the business mentors, do they receive any training to help them understand the dynamics of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking so that they best support the survivors they're working with through Project Phoenix?
It's Roseanne. We did do DV sensitivity training for folks that were mentors. One of the lessons learned when it comes to mentoring is that we we wish that we would have developed a solid mentoring project early on, and by that meaning recruiting successful businesswomen in our community, which we have many, to provide one-on-one mentoring kind of outside of the project, addition to but outside of the project, with maybe some work shadowing and mastermind type meetings. We hadn't really developed that the way that we wanted to, and we're hoping that the project continues to move on, that we are going to develop that mentoring project or component to the project. And definitely it's so very important to meet with any mentors that wanted to work with our clients in order to provide that DV sensitivity training for them. Absolutely.
Great. Does anyone else want to add anything? Okay. How are you helping to support participants after they complete their time at the project?
We continue to support them by keeping communication. We have little mini reunions. And, Syracuse is a small community, so we run into each other all the time. And, of course, we also support them by utilizing their services, referring them to other clients, showcasing them whenever we can.
This is Joanne. At the Wise Women's Business Center, we have many specialized training sessions that allow women to network. And I think one of the things that has happened with many of the Project Phoenix people is they feel self-confidence enough now to walk in a room and to mingle with other people that are feeling, despite the fact they may not come from Project Phoenix, but in many ways when you're starting a business, you feel kind of unsure of yourself as well. So it's nice to know that everybody's on the same plane. And I think the Wise Women's Business Center allows people to feel like there's no judgment.
Absolutely true, Joanne. Would you agree with that, Eileen? Are you still on, Eileen?
Well, my phone was muted, sorry. Yes, I do agree with that. And the other way that the engagement at Project Phoenix is when they bring us together for the Project Phoenix brunch, it allows each one of us to share and encourage, what we've been going through on our journey, and to, offer advice or lend a hand, so it connects. It keeps us connected so that when we leave the program, we're just not going out of the program. We get each other's phone numbers, the email addresses, and we stay connected even though we don't see each other often.
I would say that another component of that is the lifelong friendships that have been made by going through a project like this together. Also, quite remarkable.
That is true. And you see that on a regular basis. That I think I'm thinking of one Project Phoenix person who brought four, I think it was you, Eileen. You brought 3 or 4 other women to one of the new roundtables that we have at the Wise Women's Business Center not long ago, and those women continue to come.
Yes. Yes.
So in thinking about developing a project like this, what was the time frame, and how did you build those relationships across agencies, and what different changes were made as you were implementing the project?
This is Roseanne again. I would say that we have been blessed, really, truly blessed, with a team, all of the team members, all of the agencies that are committed, deeply committed to the success of this project, including the funder, the original funder, who is also deeply committed. And so having that support was, for me as the project coordinator, it was invaluable, really.
Absolutely. This is Joanne. I do think that's absolutely true. The support of Risin Wireless was tremendous, and one of the things that they allowed us to do was to implement something without too much interference. They said, this is your expertise. You guys go ahead. We want to see a great success at the end. You know your business best. So do what you think is best for the people that need it. And what a great celebration we had a year later, where several women stood up in front of everyone and said, this is something that happened to me. I've learned from it. And a great video was made, and it's just amazing, the reaction.
Mm-hmm. And who is the lead organization on pulling this together? And how did you build that relationship with the other agencies?
I would say
Vera House.
I would say Vera House, because they were the portal, and most definitely we needed their support right all along, but we always had it. But each of us worked so well together and continue to really work well together to make this project the best that it can be every day.
Absolutely. It was a tremendous collaboration. We always started our meetings together with the same thing. Can you believe we're still together? This is amazing. We've had some, personnel changes here and there, but I mean, this has been a long-term commitment. So,
and I would like to add, this is Jolie, and being the newest member, I think, of this collaboration, it has been just wonderful to step into a group of professionals that have been working with each other for as long as they have, with the same mission in regards to hopefully empowering survivors to be able to retake control of their life and to be able to step in and feel like I was there all along. And so I really thank everybody and knowing that with the mission of Vera House, that each and every person that sits around the table at these meetings has the mission of Vera House in them. And I think that that's one of the things that continues the success and the sustainability of this program.
Right.
Cool.
And not to mention that, we do meet every other week. Still, 5 years later, we meet every other week consistently, unless we have some sort of weather catastrophe. But we meet consistently 5 years later, and I think that speaks for the dedication of the team to the project and to the clients that are participating in the project.
Yes.
Great. And I know this was addressed a little bit earlier when, I believe, Jolie, when you were talking, but what strategies do you all use to help decrease and avoid participant dropout?
I think first and foremost, the collaboration between all the team members is really beneficial in supporting each participant in the program. And then our advocates being able to provide that day-to-day crisis intervention and support and safety planning to really allow for Roseanne and Joanne and Java's team to really take over and do more of the pieces in regards to ensuring the successfulness in the entrepreneurship piece, that our advocacy team is able to support the client and the survivor in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts there? Okay. And then I think the last question I can get in, and I'm sorry for those of you who have other questions, I'll put the screen back to their contact information so you can follow up. But what recommendations would you have for an organization that's considering and exploring an opportunity similar to what you have done with Project Phoenix?
I would say, this is Roseanne speaking, I would say that you look to your community and include your community in this effort. Put together a solid team of community partners that are committed to the mission of eradicating domestic violence. And one of the the most successful ways to prevent a woman from returning to an abuser is for her to become successful financially. And so that mission needs to be at the heart of and any partners, community partners that you would be working with.
Would anyone else like to add?
This is Joanne. I would definitely say the thing that keeps us going is the case histories, is the great stories, is the actual people that this is impacting. And, you know, one example was Julie, who, as Roseanne said, had tremendous self-identity issues and self-care, and basically an exercise that we had was to make your own business card and create something. And she could not do it. She could not make a decision, and for various reasons, I'm sure you all understand. And so we did have a class that allowed people to make a mind map on a 16 by 20 piece of cardboard. And so you pasted things all over it and all. And then at the end of the class, everybody held up their mind map. And, you know, most of them had all of the things they love and want to create in their business and things like that. And you know what Julie held up? A gigantic business card that had her name on it and just said to the world, I am here. And we just sat back and said, oh my gosh, that was a moment right there. That was amazing.
Great. So unfortunately, I think we are out of time. I know there's many questions that we were unable to get to. My apologies for that, but please feel free to reach out to Project Phoenix staff on the screen there. Their contact information is there. I want to thank Roseanne, Jolie, Joanne, and Eileen for joining us today. Sorry that we weren't able to bring Java due to the inclement weather they've been having in Syracuse. We really appreciate your insights you offer today and are excited to hear about the work that's happening with the Phoenix Project and look forward to hearing about more successes in the future.
Thank you so much,
Vera.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Again, thanks for bearing through the snowstorm to speak with us all today.
You're welcome. We're tough up here.
You are. This webinar has been recorded, so for those of you who want to listen more later, we'll have that available on our website. And again, please feel free to reach out to any of us for further questions or to contact the wonderful team at Project Phoenix. Thank you all very much, and have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon.